Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Psychedelica of the Ashen Hook, and we're in Levon's ending, and we're continuing where we left off. So, it was as if he didn't care about how I felt. Pretty sure we already read that. I think when you save right after it I've noticed that it does that. It will skip back to the prior scene. If you haven't played this when you save it, it's weird. But anyway, after leaving the manor, we luckily did not run into anyone. But there were people scattered about when we arrived at the town square, and one by one they noticed me. I looked down to try to escape their gaze, but those countless piercing eyes struck me. I told you, it's fine. But, huh? My hand suddenly brushed against empty air. Levon let go of my hand, and I quickly lost sight of him. Levon, wait for me! My worries and loneliness grew. I wanted him to hold my hand again. I looked up in the hopes of finding him, and... Hold on. Sorry. Snuck up sneeze. Wow, that snuck up on me. Anyway.
You really were released. I'm so glad.
Huh?
I was talking with the Hawk people earlier. People thinking you were a witch was all a misunderstanding.
The tavern employee, the old lady that always utilized my handyman services. There were more. One after the other, people gathered around me. Well, I personally believe that you were no witch.
Hey, you're talking out of your rear. You were freaked out until yesterday about how the witch would kill the town.
I still can't believe you're a woman.
You sure got us there. Didn't expect you to look this good as a girl and a guy.
Oh, sorry.
I should be the one to say sorry. I asked you to do so much physical labor.
I thought that the entire town feared or hated me. But I was wrong. There were so many that were welcoming me back. I felt something warm coming up from inside of me. I wonder where Levon went. I looked around to find the person who brought me here. Oh. I finally noticed, or rather, I remembered that I had forgotten. Beyond the people who had gathered around me, there were others who were looking from afar. Some bore expressions of fear. Others had clear contempt in their eyes. There were many more people who were not happy that I was safe.
And you were married too? So many things came as a huge surprise to me.
Huh? My sad feelings were startled out of me. The people already knew about that. It just happened a moment ago. And your husband is the Lord of the Wolves, too.
And that's cause for celebration. I guess we can't talk to you like friends anymore.
That's not true. I'd like for you to continue being good friends with my wife. Levon? I thought he disappeared, but he reappeared right next to me.
You surprised me.
Oh, the Lord himself is with you. The people who were making merry earlier suddenly tensed up. It's like they're scared of Levon all of a sudden. Weren't they always like, oh, it's Levon, he's the awesomest thing ever. What's up, buddy? Totally cool with him before, and now they're like they're afraid of him? The hell just happened? What kind of fucking flip? What switch did they fucking flip? This is just insane. I don't. It's weird, right? Am I the only one that noticed that? I don't know. Oh, because he's the Lord of the Wolves now instead of just the future Lord. I mean, that's stupid. But anyway, I didn't blame them. Levon was now the Wolf Lord, and I was his wife. Spacey, you'd prefer it that way, wouldn't you? Of course. You heard my wife. Please. After saying that, Levon bowed his head, causing everyone to tense up even more. I thought Levon interacted with the townspeople in a more carefree way before. Was this because he was now the Wolf Lord? Or... Now then, I think we should return for today. I'm sorry, but we only came by to see how the town was doing. Though he was nice about it, he spoke firmly. At the same time, he dragged me by the hand to return to the path we came from. I returned to Wolf Manor, which looked as if nothing had changed, with an odd feeling within me. Oh, how cute! Look, we're wearing a dress now! Again, obviously, but you know what I mean. But we still have her short hair, I love it. And there my new life began. In the new manor, I had no reason to lie about my gender anymore. And soon enough, Levi came by with a perplexed look on his face, because he loves... Oh, we hurt him too! I don't like any of these endings. We hurt everyone. He was happy that I was safe, but mad at Levon for not telling him. But he still congratulated me. That's right. I needed to keep my marriage and name secret from Levi, too. It's not that I didn't trust him, but it was better to keep it discreet as much as possible. But you should know better, considering how you kept your identity secret from me and Levi. I couldn't agree completely, but when he said it so firmly, I had no choice but to back down. So Levon always kind of came across as like the dashing Prince Charming, and now he just seems a little fucking shady, doesn't he? Like, I understand, like, he was trying to protect her and everything, but he seems like a little colder now and a little more. And I guess, I mean, technically, he was like that when he was like pushing us on the floor and being a little like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, I guess we should have seen this coming. Because that was a little like, Levon, could you not be kind of shady? Like, what the fuck? But I'm a little less disturbed by that because it's more like, okay, I get they throw that in there. It's a romancing novel. We're supposed to be like, why is he doing this? It's like, because he knows we're a girl. Come on, he knows we're a girl. But this is like, I don't know. I get bad vibes from this one right now. Like, I'm just getting a bad feeling. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know? Like, I mean, it's just, he's like, no, you have to keep it secret. We're going to be married. Blah, blah, blah. And he's all firm and weird. And it's like, he's not the nice, sweet. It just feels like this scenario where, like, you're like, oh, he's so nice and sweet. And then, wait, now we're married and I'm trapped. And, oh, my God, you're a psycho. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, this is just, it's creeping me out a little bit. And I don't feel good about this at all. Anyway. To this day, I still regretted keeping my secret from them. And yet, I was repeating the same mistake. The three of us lived in the same manor, but we rarely saw each other. Levi often stayed out, and Levon was busy with his work as the Lord. And I was typically stuck inside my room. I was still afraid of going outside the manor. This is horrible. I don't like this at all. I knew there were people who treated me well, but I hated the constant gazes from the people who didn't. I stayed inside because I didn't want to see people. The people I wanted to see lived with me, but I couldn't see them. That life continued for some time. Oh. Supposed to be your husband, and he just wants to possess you, and he doesn't treat you like a wife at all. Like, I mean, I guess that's okay, than him just being like, so, it's time for you to do your wifely duties now. What? No, back up, Levon. Yeah, a little romance here. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just saying. Because I don't know. This is kind of taking the wrong turn, and maybe it'll veer back into okay territory, but girl, I don't know. One day during breakfast, Levon appeared for the first time in a long while. Good morning, Levon. The tone of my voice jumped high. He may have noticed that I sounded too happy. Yeah, good morning. Luckily, Levon didn't seem to mind at all as he smiled at me. That smile seemed forced on his tired face. Are you okay? You look a little pale. You're acting like your father, like you don't want to be here, and you're the one who forced me into this marriage. No one forced you. I'm just a little tired, but that's no excuse to fall behind on work. But I'm going back to work. You go ahead and relax. Oh, wait. It was the first we talked in a while, but that was it. Since then, Levon and I constantly missed each other. Once every few days, we would see each other only to exchange pleasantries. It was painful, being unable to help him and never being together despite living under the same roof. We had always been like family, and although it was only a name, I was Levon's wife now. The more I thought of it, the more painful it became. And that pain forced me to turn to another source of pain, outside of the manor. The commotion from back then seemed to have passed. The town square was back to its original bustling mood. There were more people than I expected, so I felt uneasy, but the piercing gazes were much fewer than I thought, and...
Oh, my, it's the Lady of the Wolves!
Huh?
I was worried sick because you and your husband haven't come here in so long. I haven't even given our formal congratulations.
I'm sorry, Levon. I mean, my husband has been busy with work. Hold on a second. Hold! Sorry, all goddamn day I have been fine and not had a single freaking allergy issue, and now the second I go to record, it's the same thing. It's like, you're perfectly fine, you're washing dishes. Now I need to blow my nose because my hands are wet. What the fuck? So, sorry, hold. Perfectly fine! All damn day. Until I'm recording. Anyway. He's been busy with work, but he hasn't been out to see the town. What kind of work is he fucking doing?
Oh, is that so? And then I'll visit for a formal greeting sometime later.
Oh, well, thank you. There were people who proactively came to talk to me. Many of them were with the Wolf Clan. They only seemed to greet me as a formality since I was the wife of the Lord. On the other hand, people with the Hawk Clan seemed to keep their distance, including the people I was close to before. Could it be because my position changed? I was the town handyman, then a witch, and now the wife of the Wolf Lord. I mean, that's a lot for people to take in, is all I'm saying. Looking back, those were extreme changes, though it couldn't be helped that some would be more distant. I felt lonely. With my fear of the outside world decreased, I headed to town more often. I exchanged greetings with the people I met briefly. The Wolf Clan became more friendly with me. Thanks to that, I could feel how different the townspeople treated me now. They no longer suspected me of being a witch. I was simply the wife of the Wolf Lord. It reaffirmed how strong of an influence the wolves and the hawks had on the town. I decided to head out to meet the people more often than before. In turn, my time with Levon became even less than before. Because of this, I didn't notice. I spent my time in town until the evening. When I opened the front door, it must have been a coincidence that Levon happened to pass by. Oh, Levon! Like, I figured he's like the deadbeat husband. You really are like your dad. / my uncle. Wait, you're my cousin. Oh, wow, this is still creepy. It's still creepy when I think of that. I'm home. I'm sorry I was out late. Levon walked away without saying a word. His forced smile was no longer there. From that day on, or perhaps it had gone on longer and I simply hadn't noticed, Levon started to act strangely. He no longer smiled, and any sort of cheerfulness was gone. Even when I spoke to him, his responses were sparse. He still has the ring. You didn't put the stones in the fucking... He could be tired from his nonstop work. I really thought so in the beginning. Although I offered it late, I volunteered to help him with his work or any household chores, but he refused it all. I don't want it, I don't need it, and in the end, leave me alone. Yes, that's what he said. It could have been my imagination. I wanted to think I was just paranoid, but I could tell. He was avoiding me. Why? What happened to Levon? Did I do something? I couldn't come up with an answer no matter how much I thought. I could only be confused as time continued to pass. These endings are fucking awful. Like, this just hurts. Like, why? I mean, there's going to be more to the story and maybe the ending will be different, but like, this part of it, you're like, hold on. Levon 3. I want to see, where's our flowchart? Hold on, let me bring it up. Flowchart. There's only one more chapter till the ending, so like, I just don't feel like this is going well. Anyway, I worried about it on a daily basis. I walked around the manor in a melancholic mood and heard a loud noise in the living room. What was going on? I didn't think Levon would make that kind of noise. Suspicious, I quietly went to the living room, and there was Levi? Hey. You're like, hey girl. Just, a simple response came back to me. Been a long time since I'd seen him. Then again, it was very normal when it came to Levi. What are you doing? Levi was trying to put together a large bag. It was overflowing and about to burst. You can't tell. I'm asking because I can't. I'm gathering my stuff. I'm leaving this place. Huh? Oh, well, I'm practically never here. That may be true, but why all of a sudden? I don't want to keep being a third wheel when you two newlyweds are here. You're not a bother. I've never thought of you that way. Plus, I never see Levon, so, I mean... He kissed me once, forever ago, and he's never even touched me. So, like, I'm just saying, maybe we should have an affair? That would be wrong. It's a game. I wouldn't do that in real life, but, like, I also probably wouldn't have married a Levon, so I'm just... I know that. I know you or Levon would never think that. Then why? It's awkward for me. I found a great place, so I figured I'd move out. Well, that isn't the only reason. Hold it. Fucking allergies. I swear to God, I was fine all fucking day. So angry. Anyway, there's other things I need to think about. But don't make that face. I'll drop by to visit from time to time. We've had more conversations with Levi than Levon, by the way. And you can come visit me too. All right, I got it all in. Levi was victorious in tying up his bag. He quickly stood up. Well, see you later. I already told Levon. Just throw away whatever's left that's mine. You could always come back and get it. He was gone. It was so sudden that I couldn't do anything but watch him leave with a blank look on my face. Legit, you could just come back and get it. It's not like you're leaving forever and you can only take one bag with you. This isn't a plane. Only one bag per person. Like, you could probably have more bags than that. You gotta put them under, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like only 2 carry-ons. In the living room were scattered things that were now considered trash. I was left behind here all alone. I didn't know Levi owned so much stuff. My mind went to a completely tangential, whatever. I can't say that. Anyway, thought. Tangential thought. Wow, that's really, anyway. Yeah. My mind went off on a tangent. There you go. Then again, if he left them behind, it might not belong to him. And most of Levi and Levon's belongings must have been burned in the previous manner. Whatever survived the fire and what was stowed safe away in storage was brought over here, but... I looked around the room to see glasses and plates stacked high. These definitely don't belong to Levi. A plate that was left far from the others caught my eye. It was a pictorial plate with a portrait on it. I knew the person who was on it. It was Ashen Hawk. It must be when he was still called Apris. He usually dressed slovenly, but he was wearing formal attire here and making a serious expression. This was exactly how Apris looked in the flashback of the past Hugh showed us. He really is the Lord of the Wolves. I knew it to be true, but I still couldn't reconcile it with my image of him. I only knew him as Ashen Hawk. Speaking of which, how is he doing now? Thinking about him made me nostalgic. Spacey? Oh, Levon! I was reminiscing and didn't notice Levon coming up next to me. I swear to God, it really does anger me. The allergy thing. Like, no problems all day until right now. He looked exhausted, but seemed slightly more gentle than usual. Levi was here. Yeah, it had been a while since we last talked. It made me strangely nervous. Did you need something? Nothing. I saw you, so I... What, you're gonna actually talk to me now? The fuck, dude? Nah. What? Nah. His voice trailed off and his expression froze. He saw what I was holding in my hand. He still had that. Oh. Took the pictorial plate. Without another look at the portrait, Levon tipped his hand. The plate slipped and fell to the floor. It didn't slip. He basically threw that shit on the floor, shattering into countless pieces. What are you... He's wearing the ring still. I stopped myself midway. Levon's eyes were terribly clouded. I'd seen those eyes once before. It was when I looked inside his heart. That's right. Levon hated his father. Because of him, Mother, because of him, His blood flows through my veins. No.
No. Die.
Die. He is dead, though. Those eyes were filled with hatred for Apris, Ashen Hawk. Disgusting. The darkness of his voice sent chills up my spine. You still can't forgive him? Your father... I managed to speak despite being intimidated by Levon's eyes. Seems that way. He made it sound so impersonal. I was able to suppress it before, thanks to you. Me? You made me realize many things since I was a child. About how selfishly I always thought of things. Oh, okay. I always wanted to be right. I wanted to live in a way different from that man. Levon put his hand over his chest and gripped his shirt. Underneath must have been the ring he inherited from his father. You should take that shit off, is all I'm saying. I never wanted to inherit his selfish blood. You're not selfish, Levon. Oh, though you're being a dick, so I mean... You've always cared about Francisca and Levi. Ever since we were children. Me, too. But what about me now? Now you're just an asshole. Huh? Am I doing the same thing as that man? Am I tying you down through my own selfishness? Tying you to the Wolf Clan and to me? That's not true. You saved me. I'd want to be here, but you're acting like an asshole. Oh, that's what we're supposed to do. Oh, he was staying and avoiding us because he thought he was trapping us. Well, you're trapping us in a loveless life because you're ignoring me. But, like, that's really just you being an asshole. So anyway, I rejected that notion immediately, but he twisted my words for the worse. You probably say that man also saved you. That man? You were living in that tower with the ghost of that man, weren't you? He tied you down so that you would live with him. No! Ashen Hawk never restrained me. He always did everything for my sake. At first, I didn't have a choice, but gradually I enjoyed my life with him. See, I feel like, right? You miss Ashen Hawk a lot, don't you? Especially now. You're like, huh, yeah, that was better. He should have been dead, and yet he tied you down, even after becoming a ghost. And I'm doing the same as that man. Take the Horcrux off, Rod! Jesus! I'm not here because I'm tied down. I'm not reluctant at all to live with you, Levon. Okay, speak for yourself, honey, because I am. I wanted to live with him because he was Levon. He'd always helped me ever since we were children. He chose me over the whole town. What Levon was saying wasn't wrong. It was true that the two of them could be seen as doing the same thing. But both of them created a place I could call home. And there was no malice there, yet Levon was suffering because his actions were similar to that of his father's. He didn't know the feelings behind what Ashen Hawk, or what his father did. As a father, a husband, and a friend, I'm a failure as a human being. The children, my wife, and all my friends all hate me. I don't hate you, I love you. Nobody else might, but I do. I've done things deserving of that hatred. I've done things that can never be forgiven. You didn't love Francisca? No, I did love her. Again, as a friend, I don't think he was in love with her. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because I don't think he wanted to get married, and he even said at one point that he didn't love his wife. I mean, there's different kinds of love. I don't think Ashen Hawk really had that kind of love, but Ashen Hawk said that he did things that were deserving of hatred, and that he loved his wife, Francisca. I don't really know. He also said he didn't prior to that, so I'm whatever. And even you, Levon. That's impossible. Levon, even if that may be true, that love will never be accepted. It can only be forced onto others. What a joke. Mere words might not have been enough to convey the message, so I reached for his hand. But he moved his hand away. Levon, I'm afraid of being touched by you right now. Wow, you're neglectful. I've tied you down. No, you're just being a neglectful, douchey husband. So, like, yeah, I'm regretting the marriage thing, but only because you're being an asshole. Whatever. After saying that, he left the room. I couldn't stop or follow him. All I could do was watch as he left. I had no intention of peering into his heart. I'd seen with the power of my eye the darkness inside Levant. This is why you're supposed to destroy the Horcruxes, honey. Like, what? Why do you let him keep it? I'd be like, take the fucking ring off. Because it's making you a douche. Take it off, put it somewhere. Just take it off. If I used my witch's eye, I might have been able to see more. But the hatred inside Levant isn't caused by the magical stone. It resides deep within his heart. Yeah, but it's making it worse. Taking away the magical stone wouldn't solve it. Shut up! Yes, it would. It would make it better. Right now, my words and emotions cannot reach him. It's exacerbating the feeling. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't tell him how I feel. What am I doing? I already knew of the darkness that resided in Levant's heart and the reason it existed. I should have known that Levant was acting strange, and yet I did nothing. Levant had been enduring it all alone all this time, and he hid the growing darkness within himself for me. See, I love this. And by love this, I mean it makes me angry. It's all my fault that he's being a twat waffle. I should have known. You know what? Maybe he should fucking man up and, like, actually try to talk to you about shit. Okay? Instead of being a dickhole and you blaming yourself for everything. Now, yes, you can take the blame. I didn't notice that he was being a dickhole. You noticed he was being a dickhole, but he's being a dickhole, and you try to talk to him. He's like, no, okay, but it's all our fault. Fuck that shit. That makes me angry. It is not all of our fault. Grow a set, be a man, and fucking talk about your issues and be like, here's the problem, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's do it. I get it. You have to deal with some shit on your own. But it's not everybody else's fault that you're an asshole. That's on you. Jesus. Why do the women in these games always like, it's all my fault that he's a twat waffle because I didn't notice? Wow, no responsibility on his part at all for being a twat waffle to begin with, and maybe, like, makes me angry. Just makes me so fucking angry. It's like, especially considering the fact that these, except for her, she's fine. But, like, they're usually like, I don't even know how to breathe without a man's help, but it's all my fault that he's an asshole. Like, I gotta carry that fucking burden, but I can barely walk without falling down a cliff? What the fuck? Like, come on. Come the fuck on. Like, this one's actually a really great game until this. Like, it's my fault I didn't notice he was an asshole. Like, not your fault, honey. Not your fault. I mean, side note, I do get it. Like, we always, like, it's all my fault that he's an ass. We gotta stop doing this, though. We gotta stop blaming ourselves for other people being assholes. It's not your fault. Not your fault. And we're still gonna, even when we're like, it's my fault, blah, blah, he's gonna be like, no, it's my fault. No, it's my, no, you're right, it is your fault. But, hey, I'm sorry I didn't try to help you sooner, but there's no reason for you to have been an asshole for forever. Like, you know, just saying. Anyway. Levant had been enduring it all alone this time, and he hid the growing darkness within himself for me. Yeah, so it's not your fault. Stop blaming yourself. I've lived with him all this time. I'm supposed to be his wife. He did so much to save me, and I did nothing in return. How? Again. I understand the guilt. I didn't note it. Yeah, because he barely talks to you. No. If he needed help, he could have man up and fucking said something and be like, I need to talk. I need someone to talk to. Don't be a goddamn whiny little crybaby. Suck it up and be an adult. I can't handle all these negative emotions in my head. I need to talk to you. Will you be my wife and listen to me? Sure, honey. But no. We're supposed to fix all your fucking problems because you can't fucking communicate. Yeah, okay. Men. Fucking useless. Especially in this game. She's the one doing all the shit. They're just like running around being pretty. Usually it's us running around being pretty and stupid, but we still have to solve all their problems for them. How? I can barely walk. I fall down cliffs. I don't even remember my name. I have family members that are lost. Like, I don't know anything. Like, literally, that's every single one of these games. These women are fucking idiots.
I I forgot how to walk and I ran into a tree. Luckily, he was there to save me from myself.
It's probably because their eyes are usually the size of their heads, and it's got to be. You'd think it'd be easier to see, but it's got to be difficult. What?
What? Your birdies out there? Why are you freaking out about something? What you freaking out about? What?
Anyway, I've done nothing for Levon. Oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Now is not the time to feel down. There should still be something I could do. I wanted to do something for Levon. There's something I could do to give him back his smile. Punch him in the face. I have to think. Tell him to stop being such a fucking ass. Renewing my resolve, I looked at the shattered pictorial plate. One of the pieces with Apris's eye met my own. That night, I snuck out of the manor. You're gonna go bring Ashen Hawk to him? I passed through the town and into the forest, so they can have like a father-son like chat. This is gonna go well. I'm sure it'll go well, actually, because it's like the end, so it'll be like, oh, they made up and he's happy and everything's great. You know, I still don't like this end. I don't know. I treaded down the path I walked on for years to reach the tower I once called home. I believed that I could meet him if I went there. I could see it now. The tower from the outside was completely dark at night. There wasn't a single light. Was he not there? No, knowing that man, he probably felt that lighting a fire was too much trouble. Ashen Hawk? I tried calling out to him, but received no response. Did he not hear me? Or was he sleeping? Or maybe he wasn't there anymore. I shouted even louder in the hopes of erasing my worries. Ashen Hawk! Some birds flew away, startled at my voice. They're like, bitch, I was sleeping. And in place of those birds, I sensed a new presence appearing. He appeared out of nowhere right in front of me, because he's a ghost. Shouting so loudly at this hour is a bit improper, don't you think? Ashen Hawk! I felt relieved hearing his familiar voice, and I practically rushed toward him. There was no time for the usual banter. Ashen Hawk, you told me before that you loved Francisca, right? What's with you all of a sudden? You said you loved your sons, Levon and Levi, too, right? Didn't you? Calm down. I have no idea what you're talking about. If you love them, please tell that to Levon. First, I need you to explain what you're talking about. Let's take it from there. Forgot everything again. He calmed me down, and I was finally able to explain the circumstances. I told him what happened. Levon had completely shut himself off emotionally. My words could no longer reach him. So you came to me? Yes. If he knew how Ashenhawk felt, if the blood that flowed through him wasn't something to be detested, the darkness inside Levon could be lifted. I honestly believed that. I didn't know anything about Apris, but I did know Ashenhawk. The ghost in front of me was someone who had protected me from solitude and loneliness for years, and it's just way too... Everything with him was... maybe I just read way too much into it of it being slightly too romantic-y for him to be like your fucking uncle, which is just possibly your dad. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm really confused about the Psychedelica world because we're not getting out. We're just staying here forever, I guess, which is weird. This one's a little odd to me. Hold. Like, don't get me wrong, I fucking love this game. This one was really good, but I feel like now we figured out, and then it's like, and then we're just gonna stay here forever. At least the other one we had to try to get out, get back, and I feel like there was more to it. Like this one is like, and here you go, ending. But so, we're content with it. I'm not content with this. I feel like I'm missing so much. I mean, I know we got tons of other endings. We'll see what happens, but it's just weird to me. But anyway. And the whole everyone's related thing is really fucking creepy. Like, really creepy. Just, I mean, I knew that he wasn't a loveless person. I understand. But that's not a good idea. Even after explaining everything, Ashenhawk's answer was no. But why? Your words don't reach him, so there's no reason mine will. I have no right to be his father. It's arrogant for me to even dare to call him my son. I have no right to talk to him. Even so, There was no one else I could turn to. Ashen Hawk continued with gentle words. Here's the thing. They were just babies, pretty much, like just small kids when Ashen Hawk was dead. When he died. I understand Levon being pissed off at Ashen Hawk and blah, blah, blah. I understand that. But the thing that where Levon is completely fucking missing as an adult goddamn man with a fucking brain, okay, maybe not, is maybe someone should point this out to him because I'm thinking nobody did. So, yeah. How old were you? You're a couple years old. Okay. Your father's been dead the whole time. So, your mom is kind of a fucking psycho. And like, look, we loved Francisca, blah, blah, whatever. She pushed Levi to kill people. Or I'm just, prodded, like, encouraged him to kill people. Okay. She murdered my fucking mom. She's a psycho. She kind of drove Apris away. And he's been dead for 17 fucking years. So all of your anger and rage at him is solely based on the fact that he wasn't around and your mother kind of hated him. Okay. He's been dead. I mean, I get it. I get that you grew up thinking my deadbeat dad's never around, blah, blah, blah. He abandoned us. He left us, blah, blah, blah. When you found out, oh my God, he's been dead this whole time. I mean, it's not going to be instantly erase all those negative feelings, but there's got to be something in you that goes, yeah, that's kind of why he was a deadbeat dad, because he literally was dead. And my mother is kind of a psycho, so maybe all of the horrible things she felt, and I don't think they really said that, like, Francisca was saying horrible things, but I got the impression that she wasn't like, oh no, your father's great, you know what I mean? That a lot of it kind of stemmed from that. You were a child. So the things you think as a child are not always right. You know what I mean? I had this impression that my mom is the greatest person in the world. Your mom's an abusive asshole. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to, as an adult, go, okay. As a child, the impression I got was my father was never around, which is true. He was never around. He did leave you a lot. And I get being angry about that. Get being angry about it. But a lot of what you're basing this on is the fact that your father's been dead. That's why he hasn't been around. And your mom was kind of angry and bitter. I mean, rightfully so. But at the same time, man the fuck up, be an adult, and fucking accept that, you know what, maybe your preconceived notions are not entirely true. Kind of, some of them are true. Like, I mean, you can still have anger at your dad for not being there, but you gotta, like, let some of it go. Like, you gotta, like, let some of it go and be like, you know what, he wasn't around because he was dead. Like, granted, Ashen Hawk is still around as a ghost, but he didn't remember anything, so you can't really blame him for that. You can't be like, that asshole didn't show up. He didn't even remember his fucking name. He had no clue. But, like, Levon's been holding on to this anger and hatred for this deadbeat douchebag with all these preconceived notions and, like, okay, have you tried to maybe understand what actually happened? Because when you're a kid, you don't know the full story, and I get that. So I get him being angry, but now as an adult is the time to understand. And you saw what happened. You saw the full story. So you know that some of your deep-seated hatred is off base. Not entirely, but off base. So, like, you need to work through it. But we're gonna save him because, God forbid, he fucking handles it like a goddamn adult and deals with his own issues. I mean, I guess they don't have therapists, so it's kind of difficult here, but I'm just saying. Go to a therapist, Levon. You need a fucking therapist, not me to fucking fix you. Listen, ladies, you can't fix the crazy ones. He needs to go to a therapist on his own, find someone else. Move in with the ghost. He's so much nicer. Anyway, there was no one else I could turn to, a therapist. Ashen Hawk continued with gentle words. Why are you so fixated on him? Why? Because, I mean, this is the path we chose, and because it was the right thing to do. Besides, because it's Levon. And I've grown up with him like a brother. He's always helped me, and he also cares deeply about me. There is I just don't feel the love in this. Like, he's like a big brother to me. Where's the, I don't know. I'm just a little disappointed in the romancy endings in these. This is not really. It's not. Anyway. Yes. And because I want to help him, because he took care of me, I want to do the same. My thoughts became organized and I spoke them out loud. But there was only one part I couldn't figure out. And you will accept his feelings. Huh? It seems that you don't realize it. I mean, that's what you're talking about. Are you in love with him in the same way he is with you? Not really. Well, I didn't know. I didn't dislike him. There was no way I could, but did I love him? I wasn't sure. Oh, dear God. This is terrible. This is a terrible ending. Just as Levon loved me, did I feel the same way? I don't know, but I feel pain when I can't touch him. After I said that, Ashen and Hawk burst out laughing. I was being serious. How rude. You're so dense with these things. Well, excuse me. If you don't know, you can't help it. Then I'll just teach it to you. I mean, that's what I've wanted the whole entire time, but you apparently are somehow related to me. You know what? I'm just going to pretend that nobody's actually related because this weird Psychedelica world is not actually real at all, and I don't know why we're still here. Ashen Hawk's not related to us. Let's just let the ghosts teach us some shit. Just fuck everybody else. Let's go. Okay. That's called love sickness, without a doubt. Love sickness? The feelings of longing. So this was what that felt like. That was the emotion I had been feeling. I wanted Levon to smile. I wanted to understand him. I wanted to touch him. I didn't understand. Trying to give a name to this emotion still didn't feel right, but I don't know if I can call it love sickness, but I do like Levon. I want to help him. I see. He smiled and nodded. He always joked around, but Ashen Hawk really was like a father to me. Ah, it's so creepy. Stop saying that. It makes me feel dirty. And then just be honest with your feelings. Your words will be infinitely more effective than mine. But my words... If you don't understand your own emotions, of course it would never reach someone else. But now, that's not true anymore, don't you think? Yeah. You should tell him how you feel while you still can. Otherwise, only regrets will remain. I'm a prime example of that. The tone of his voice was tinged with pain. What happened in the past can never be reversed. But for me... Thank you, Ashen Hawk. I'm glad I came to talk to you. Because of you, I said things that are unbecoming of me. The day's about to break. You'd better return. You're right. I'll come back to visit sometime. Come here when it's still bright out. I don't like being woken up at this hour. Ashen Hawk saw me off as I left the tower. My mind was a mess earlier, but I felt so much better now. I was able to say goodbye to him with a smile. Sorry. I should be fine now. I would try to talk with Levon properly once more. I could then tell him how I felt. My true feelings. After the girl left, Ashen Hoke, because I saw spoke. Wow, that Ashen Hoke to a dark corner. That's Hawk spoke. It's Hoke. I'm totally gonna Hoke. Like, Hawk speak? That's Heek? I don't know. Anyway. After the girl left, Ashen Hawk spoke to a dark corner. You heard her. All that's left to do is for you to hear it from her directly. Did you lure her to do this? Who knows? I have no intention of calling myself your father, and apologizing for it is pointless now. I know that better than anyone. Of course. But just as she said, words of love should be spoken directly. Do you want to die? Quite clever words to say to a ghost like me. I've always hated that about you. That's actually really kind of pretty, and it is a hawk ring. Interesting. Levon removed the chain from his neck. The ring with the hawk motif was hanging from it. And It sure brings back memories. Every time I see this, I wish you were dead. Even after becoming a ghost, you've always been like shackles on my heart. I thought these shackles would never come off as long as the Wolf Clan existed. I was wrong. I simply didn't have the strength to remove them. Spacey made me realize that. I will return this to you. He held out the ring, which Ashen Hawk reluctantly accepted. The magical stone's murkiness thinned, letting out a beautiful glimmer and making Ashen Hawk squint. I was unable to leave anything behind. The clan remained. It's something you left to us. Perhaps. I sneeze. Even if it isn't a sure thing, I will live on as the new Lord of the Wolves. I will continue to protect the town that you've forsaken. Yes, you do that. Levon turned his back to the smiling Ashen Hawk and headed into the forest. He walked toward where the girl was. After going through the forest to return to town, the sky was still dark. However, the smell of the morning was floating in the air. It was about time Levon normally woke up, so I'd better hurry. I could pretend to wake up as I usually did and leave the room to find Levon, and then... Spacey. I thought I was hearing things at first. Even though I was thinking of him, I didn't expect I'd hear his voice. But he was standing right in front of me. Levon, why? I didn't see you, so I came outside. Oh, really? What should I do? All the things I wanted to tell him just vanished from my mind. He appeared so suddenly that I wasn't ready for this. What if he asks me where I was? I didn't think I could tell him honestly. Oh, sorry. Sorry about yesterday. I wanted to apologize before he asked me anything, but then he did so first. Huh? About yesterday. I felt as if I took out my anger on you. I'm sorry. There was light in Levon's eyes. Is he back? Then yesterday... Maybe he really was just tired. Then maybe I didn't need to... You should tell him how you feel while you still can. Otherwise, only regrets will remain. I'm a prime example of that. Ashen Hawk's words crossed my mind in my reluctance. I had to tell him now. I didn't want to have any regrets with him. I wanted Levon to smile. I wanted to understand him. I wanted to touch him. And then I became embarrassed as I thought of the words to say and the emotion to express towards Levon. Spacey, how about we go for a walk? That was the first thing I blurted out. I needed time to get ready, but if we returned to the manor, I think I would lose that opportunity. But if... Tim and his terrible typing. I don't mind. We walked through the quiet town together. The town was covered in snow year-round and was especially cold in the morning, and that was why we walked a little bit closer than usual. I couldn't find the opportunity to start the conversation, so we remained silent. Didn't you want something? Levon broke the silence in an impatient, yet gentle tone. Oh, yeah, there's something I wanted to talk about. I mumbled to myself. I'd made the decision to tell him, but I couldn't find the words. You already know how he feels, so I don't understand why this is awkward. I felt so pitiful and frustrated. If you need time, it doesn't have to be now. We live together in the manor, after all. No, I can't. It has to be now. I knew I wasn't making sense. I just couldn't bring myself to say it. Well, let's borrow that place. That place? I looked at Levon's line of sight and saw the church. Oh, we could get out of the cold and it'll help you calm down. But I wondered if we would be any trouble at this hour. Lawrence and Elric were probably still asleep. But it would be bad if they woke up. I didn't want them hearing this conversation. While my mind was spinning in circles, Levon quickly moved and opened the door. I had no choice but to run after him. I just think it's funny how she's just going to doom everyone to staying in this non-existent in-between life and death world. Just, okay. Even at this hour, the church did not keep its doors locked. Did they forget to lock it last night? Or perhaps Lawrence was awake and he unlocked it. Or it's a fucking church and you shouldn't be stealing from a church and it should be unlocked. I didn't know why it was that way, but luckily no one was in the chapel. Levon and I were alone. This situation happened in the past, too. It was a fond memory from not so long ago. Back then, Levon and I... What's wrong? What are you laughing about? We were alone together here before, too. Don't you remember? Oh, when was this? It wasn't too long ago. It was when we pretended to have a wedding. Levon seemed to have remembered. He blushed and looked away. That must have been ridiculous. 2 boys pretending to get married. Seriously, I don't know what came over me then. The fact that you knew I was a girl and you wanted to marry me and, oh, we really are husband and wife. That was real? You bastard. No, obviously not, but still. But in truth, you knew I was a woman even back then, right? I felt so nervous then. I thought that maybe I wouldn't mind going along with it. What are you doing, Bird? I had a hard time holding myself back then, too. We were joking then, but now I'm really your wife. Just in name only. Yeah. Memories were such strange things. Just talking about something we shared together could make everything we said so beautiful. Ever since I was a child, I've looked up to you. You had the strength that I lacked. I'm not strong. Yes, I found that out recently. I didn't notice before. You had many worries that you were struggling with. But everyone has issues. He was so dense, yet he carried me. As the eldest son, as the heir to the wolves, as the lord, as a man. He shouldered so many things without his knowing, and it caused him so much strife. But from now on, I want to support you, just like you did for me. Spacey. Because I love you, Levon. I finally said it. I wasn't able to earlier, but it came out so smoothly. She's like, score, I'm so smooth. Levon stared at me without saying a word. After a while, he silently held out his hand. I grabbed it without hesitation. I entrusted my body and soul to him as he led me to the stained glass window. We were in the same place where we played wedding that day. Spacey. Yes? I want you to be with me. I kinda am, but yes. No matter what happens in the future, I'll never let you go. I will protect you. Yes. Will you be my wife? I already had an answer to that. No! Levon knew my answer, but he asked so seriously. The playful side of me came out. Lawrence isn't here. Hmm? We need a priest for a wedding. I hear that's how you do things. You're the one who taught me that. Seems like I shouldn't have. Levon smiled wryly. I was sorry for breaking the mood. My bird just almost fucking fell. What the hell, idiot? But right now, I guess I'd rather be alone with you. Can you say that again? I'll say it as many times as I have to. Will you be my wife? Yes. I closed my eyes and our lips touched. I was wondering if we were, I'm like, are we now gonna get okay, because before, I was like, this path seems just so depressing and this doesn't seem like a happy ending. Okay, so this is the happy ending, but still, I'm kind of just, all right. But anyway, I was like, are we just not gonna get a kissy CG with him? But we got one earlier, so I was like, I guess that's it. But no, okay, here we go. I closed my eyes and our lips touched. This was the continuation of the wedding from that day. This was the kiss of our vows. On this day, at this moment, we were now husband and wife. I just like how they're like, so we're gonna we're married? Cool. I mean, I guess in Psychedelica anything goes. From now on, our hearts would never be clouded. I might be tormented again as a witch, and Levon may suffer as the Lord of the Wolves. Even so, we would take one step at a time together. It was all right to take it slowly. I'd like to live on in this world this way, together with Levon, forever and ever, and it really will be. No matter what hardships await us in the future, we can overcome it together. I love you, Spacey. Spacey? Like, see, it was really good calling her Spacey because they never call her by her female name. He's still, again, the funniest part of this is if we had left her name Jed, he would have been like, I love you, Jed. Like, weird. Kind of funny, though. But anyway. God, even all the side characters have voices. That's kind of interesting. I mean, I guess maybe they always do. I just never... Like, random townies. You know what I mean? Like... So, like... I don't know. I think, and again, this is the first real, I mean, we got a bad ending and we got the Ashen Hawk kind of ending, like, which was also just kind of like a weird sidey thing. And this is supposed to be like one of the main ones. I guess I just feel like, even though I loved this game up to this point, and I do love everything, I just feel like when we get to the end, it's like, okay, done. Wait. But wait. I like what they did in Black Butterfly better, because you had the ending where you stay in the world, you know, so we have the Levant ending, okay, where we stay here, but there's never, I mean, there might be an ending where you get back to the real world, but like you just stay here in Psychedelica, you're not going back, like you're not, what, and I mean, and I guess we're supposed to, I mean, because that's kind of the way they made it seem, but like, this is just exactly. So, like, Black Butterfly, we were in this weird we had weird clothes, we were in this weird mansion, and there were monsters and shit, and that wasn't anywhere near the real world, right? It was just this, it was legitimately a Psychedelica. This one is like, oh, we were living our lives, everybody, bam, now we're in this crazy world, and it's the exact same. It's the same, you know what I mean? So, we're supposed to infer that everything going on, oh, that's lovely. Look, it changes depending on what ending you got. When you start the game and you go through well, this one doesn't do it, but if you played the title song, this flips through all of them at the end. But what I find really weird is on the back of the cards, that come with the game, the back of every single card is like this. Like thing, but it's Lugus. So I just find that really interesting. So is he supposed to be like the canon path? Like, curious. I'm not really sure what path to go down next. I think, let's see. This is where we're going to end this part. I'm not going to do it, but I'm actually going to pull up the guide and go to, okay, let's go to our common route, and this is, okay, so in the guide they give you the common route, and they give you the wolf, oh, so this is how to get the wolf ending. Okay, so let me read this. Will require you to jump to certain chapters before continuing. What? You're not purchasing anything additional from the Tavern Antique Shop. It's best to save that for last after the common route, which we've technically already done the common route. Like, we've done it and we've gotten an ending. So we can go back, and I guess that's what we'll kind of do in the next part. Maybe I don't know what we're gonna do. But I'm just gonna go to the album for a second. Because like we could go to all the maps and like buy the little things so we can see all those extra stories we didn't see. So we're gonna have to spend some time doing that. Again, the only thing I hate is there's no actual, like, we're gonna have to go through the gallery at the very end. You know what I mean? To like see. We can't go through like the Levant gallery and like do that, but that hurts me so much. I I'm just trying to find, like, we can find, like, just a Levon CG and just, like, pop it up. Where, there really is, where the hell was that one? There was one that was, like, did I miss it? Oh, I did, like, this one. That's what I was, like, looking for, like, the one by himself. But he looks mad there. I don't like that one. Oh, like, wait. So we're gonna have to go through all the CGs, like, at the end. This one's aced. Whoops. No, I wanted that one. I wanted to hide this. There we go. There you go. Like, so we can't go through and just see just the Levon CGs. You know what I mean? And do that. I don't like the way they did the gallery in this one, but I also, it's weird. I like this game, and I like her character a lot better because she's a little tougher. She's not like a pansy. She's not like, I don't know how to do anything. So I love that so much. And there's so much I love about this game, but I think what I don't is the fact that I feel like it's kind of half-assed at the end. Like, we've got this whole thing, and okay, so we got to complete the Kaleido Via, blah, 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 the real world, you're all dead. No, we're just going to stay here. Wait, what? Wait, what? And I think for me, I find it, I guess because the revelation comes out, like, I don't like that Ashen Hawk is kind of related to us, and we're related to Levon and Levi technically, and that's just creepy to me. A little creepy, but whatever. Things were different. But I guess I feel a little disappointed that the quote-unquote real world is exactly like this. You know what I mean? Like, this is literally just, oh, at that point where Olgar and Ashen Hawk were fighting, blah, 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 that all of a sudden, like, the Kaleido Via broke, Ashen Hawk died, now we're in Psychedelica. We brought the whole town here. I don't like that. I don't know. I feel like that was kind of a letdown, because I feel like with Black Butterfly, like, yes, I know I ruined it in the very beginning. It was instantly like, we're dead, aren't we? We're totally fucking dead. This is like... But then you find out little bits of the story, like, what happened, and it's like, oh my god, you know what I mean? And I liked that, like, this, it was totally separate from the quote-unquote real world, you know? Psychedelica was different. Here, Psychedelica is just, it basically is, it's not the real world, but it's basically the exact same thing. Is that what we're supposed to be taking from this? Like, oh, it'd be like, all of a sudden one day you're going through your life and someone's like, oh, by the way, you're dead. This is like the afterlife world. And you're like, well, that's disappointing. I would have thought it would be way more fun. Like, I would have expected them to be more like modern times. You know what I mean? Plus, it's also, I mean, I get it's Psychedelica, so like Lawrence and Elric can like pop around and different things, but like, because they can float around like Hugh. I'm kind of curious about him, to like different, like Psychedelica worlds. Like, just because if you were in a Psychedelica, if you were in Psychedelica right now, right? Doesn't mean somebody from like 1920 isn't in there too. You know what I mean? It's an in-between realm. All the time doesn't work like, oh, well, just because it's 2019 and we go into Psychedelica doesn't mean that like 1800s isn't it? Like, Psychedelica is like this place outside of time, if you think about it. So yeah, Lawrence and Elric being here isn't that odd, but in a way it is. There's an oddness about it. Like, I was just, I was kind of expecting, but I wonder if it's less like, whoa, and more like, it's a little nod to the prior game. That's kind of interesting. Okay, I see what you did there, shoehorning that in. Okay. Not really. Like, you fit them in. I like that. You know, where technically, if you didn't play the first one, it's not like, oh, it's this huge plot hole or anything for you. You're like, I don't, okay, so Lawrence had someone and he knows that they're dead and blah, blah, blah. And it's like more like a nod for those of us who played. But I just find it, I don't know, I guess I'm a little disappointed because I really wanted it to be a little more like, there was so much more of a mystery, I think, in Black Butterfly. Like, what happened? Oh my god, these were all and like, we knew, but like getting back and like trying to go back to the real world and trying to get back to our real lives. And here it's like, so the ending is just we stay in Psychedelica forever? Like, okay. Like, I feel like we're missing something. I just feel like it was like, and okay, we're here. Like, there was so much buildup to figuring this shit out and going around the town and our male and female disguise, which I like. I love a lot of this. But then we get to, okay, so the Kaleido, or whatever the hell, and blah, 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 and then now we're staying here. What? What the actual fuck? Like, I'm so confused, so. But I don't know. I gotta figure out what the hell we're gonna do, because, like, I mean, I guess we should use the guide. Okay, so we shouldn't, I'm not going to purchase anything from the antique shop maybe the next time. So maybe what we should do is kind of skip through the guide and try to see if we can get the, because this one, the guide that I have shows you the common route and the ending, the wolf. And then there's people ending, heroes, bad ending, lord ending, blah, 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 and each individual person ending. So I'm going to have to look at that and try to figure it out. So then we could go back and read the other stories. Like, I'm not sure what we should do, because that's like, I want to see, like, this just, with these endings, it says load any, do that, like, so these other chapters, I mean, I guess we could do some of the other ones in the flowchart that are higher up. I don't know. You guys can't tell me because you're not going to see this by the time I record the next part. But there are some endings that go off on chapter 3. Huh. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Maybe we'll just do the wolf ending because that's like the first one that's in the thing. And we'll try to do that. And then we'll go through and get some of the other side story things. Like, I don't know. Maybe we'll do all the side story things first. Like, we'll wing it. Play it by ear and I'll see what happens when I record the next part. But anyway. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I loved this game up until this point. Now I'm like, I just feel like all of a sudden it's like, okay. I guess we'll have to see more as we get more endings and see if anything changes or if this one just felt like, to me. I don't know. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.